It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
It has begun.
What has begun?
It's time to test your might. Doom, 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 doom. And potentially get on over to that place near me.
Get over here.
Yeah, that thing.
Get over there. It's a
blew out immediately.
Patreon.com.
Never heard of it. Is that like OnlyFans, but like less boobies?
I mean, we can put boobies on there. John, take your shirt off in the next Patreon video. We gotta get those numbers up, boys.
I'm sorry, Dad.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. And for newbies, welcome to Operation Babble. I'm Myke Shrews, and with me, I have John the Bald Man Bad and Tivis.
Howdy.
How you guys been the last week, 2 weeks? John, it's been two weeks. We didn't do one with you last week.
Yeah, I don't remember
we had
why.
some stuff. We were gonna do a double, but I just had too much shit going on with.
So it was your fault that time. Good.
Yeah.
It's hard to put in the tally mark which ones are my fault when we don't record.
But we did get an episode out last week for the WandaVision finale with Austin Mosier. If you guys want to check his stuff out, please go to the last episode and click on some of the links. He's doing some cool stuff with some indie bands and stuff like that. So it's awesome.
Final episode of WandaVision. That's the one that everybody loved and said it was perfect, right?
Yeah.
It was all right.
Tivis?
Uh-oh.
If people want to hear about that, they can go listen to the last episode. Fuck off. I'm not going there. All right, so what are we doing today, boys? Shill. I need the shill real quick. Go to Patreon or Operation Babble. No, is it? Do they do first or last? I think it's patreon.com/operationbabble. Go there, check it out. John's been creating a bunch of cool shit for everybody to watch there. I've been a lazy fuck, so I will be getting some stuff out soon.
And I've been slacking
once my
as
energy level goes back up. Yeah, Tivis has really been slacking.
Some shit that's been going on. Do you guys want to hear about my night last night?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
So I get off work. I get a message from my aunt saying, hey, just so you know, I dropped off, Victoria's, my wife's birthday card, which is more than a week ago now. And
dang.
So also in the process, I hit your mailbox.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she backed into my mailbox and uprooted it.
Oh.
So that's awesome.
You should tell her it's a federal crime.
Is it a cement mailbox or is it just like a wooden one or like?
It's a wooden.
Oh, okay.
It'd be more impressive if it was like like how like some communities have like that big silver box that has all the little mini boxes in it. It's like, I hit your mailbox. It's like, what? It was like one of 100. How did you do that?
Just one? Who are you, Green Arrow? Fuck.
Well, after that, I got my mail out of the mailbox because she put it back in the ground. Not great. So that's probably going to fall again sometime between now and when I can fix it.
All I took from this conversation is that Tivis is not an ally because he keeps referring to it as mail.
Well, so I get it. And I get a letter from Kroger saying, hey, so we know you haven't worked for us in like 10 years, but your information was stolen. So have fun.
Man, that Adam Kroger. That was his name? I don't remember.
So
needless to say, a mailbox. Is it really a mailbox though? Because it's got the hole, so you put something in it. So shouldn't it be the female box?
Wow, way to fucking piggyback on my joke.
I was waiting for a spot to shove it in there. Get it?
No, see, that was well done, sir.
Needless to say, I was up until 2 a.m. pretty livid. So I'm a bit tired.
Anger fuels rage, and rage makes you not sleepy.
Also, the 3 Mountain Dews I drank.
Damn. So if your heart explodes halfway through here, if you just go silent, we'll know why.
Yeah,
All
if
right.
I just took.
Okay.
Okay.
John, anything fun with you?
No.
Okay, cool. So, Tivis, you're the most fun there is for once.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true. I went to a hibachi restaurant last night with my mom and my lady friend Hannah, and had a lot of fun.
Lady friend.
Yeah.
Lady
I don't want to
friends.
give her a title because then she starts getting all smug.
Hannah, good looking John's closet. The ring is there.
How dare you
have a
spoil
closet?
everything? Yeah, that's like I like how you started with that. You're like, wait, shit. Do you even have a closet? Yeah, yes, I am one of the privileged few.
You're
Yeah.
privileged to have a closet. Most
Yeah.
people live in a closet, John.
Well, I was about to say I needed something to come out of, and just for some reason, coming out of the pantry doesn't really hit hard.
The closet in this room is basically a pantry, which is not great for a guy my size because it's probably going to be one.
It will be your tomb.
The
be that
closets in
too.
my house are all way too
Guys,
packed for me to come out of them.
I know this isn't the topic, but just because of my own reference made me
Yeah.
think. I have to say
Yeah.
I watched X-Men Apocalypse the other day just randomly because I was bored.
Oh yeah.
The movie's a piece of shit.
And
That
you have
movie is
not
fucking
watched
garbage.
Phoenix yet, have you?
No, I
I
haven't.
haven't
Are you
either.
going to?
I mean, I kind of want to now because I'm like, it's so incredible that I feel like they literally just do the same thing in every movie. They just up the stakes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, obligatory Cerebro scene. Okay, here's Wolverine cameo. Here's Mystique's annoying.
Yeah.
Man, what a
Ever-
downgrade to Jennifer Lawrence.
I have Dark Phoenix, but everything I've heard tells me I've already seen it because it's basically X-Men 3
Yeah.
Last Stand mixed with some Captain Marvel elements that they eventually wrote out and refilmed.
What do you mean, ex-women?
No, it was like supposed to be they fight aliens in space at the end, like exact ending to Captain Marvel.
Nice.
So
Yeah, but I just needed to get that off my chest because very rarely am I
Captain
watching
Marvel,
a movie.
they don't fight aliens at the end. I'm sorry, John, to cut you off. They don't
Yeah,
fight
thanks
aliens
for
at
that.
the end.
what are you talking about? She fly around space blowing up Kree ships. That's the ending.
Yeah. Have you really forgotten that terrible film already?
I don't watch it as much as anything else, so
I guess. I've
okay.
only watched it once, but it's kind of unforgettable. It's that terrible.
Okay, this is a very slow, boring
Well,
intro.
like I was gonna say, I was saying, like it was really
Yeah.
annoying because
Yeah.
very rarely do I have a movie that I actually am watching and I'm getting so infuriated that I end up starting to live text you guys while I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It was driving me insane.
I was like, God, I wonder if Tivis loves this movie because he's got to be like gritting his teeth if so.
It was
I have no strong feelings.
it was killing me. Well, it's just because I have really strong memories of the X-Men 90s cartoon when they did Moira and the
Yeah.
Apocalypse Island and whatever,
Oh,
Genosha
God,
or whatever the
yeah.
fuck they were at. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Like they completely wasted the Four Horsemen thing. Like they were so fucking lazy. They're like, oh, he just like supercharges them and makes them his Four Horsemen. It's like, no, he turned mutants into the actual four plagues or whatever, like famine and war and all that. And like Archangel looked like a dick.
I remember watching that movie, and when I watched it, I was like, I don't think the writers read any of the comics.
No, dude, it was
when
fucking
they
insane.
Wrote that shit.
Well,
Like-
and it was like Archangel was like they gave Psylocke her stupid retarded ass costume and the glowy knife thing, but they didn't have the balls to make Archangel blue and like look all cool. I guess it's because we
Yeah.
already had too many blue creatures with fucking Mystique. Nightcrawler was probably the best character in that
Did
whole
they
movie.
have him blue in that movie, or was he like the dark green
Who?
Nightcrawler?
No, he was blue. He was blue. Mystique was blue. Apocalypse was blue. And then Quicksilver made blue colors.
Yeah.
Basically,
No, wait,
a
that's
rule
mine.
of thumb with any comic, if there was a 90s animated, it's better than anything they've made since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I went back and rewatched the first X-Men movie. It's pretty bad, but I still enjoyed it for the most part. I was like, they do a lot better than they do a lot of things good more than they do bad. It's the best way.
I want to know how to watch all the Fox X-Men things and not be confused, because in the first movie,
their timeline's warped.
The first time we see Sabretooth, he's like there with Wolverine. Well, no, you're not my brother. Then we get Wolverine Origins. You're my fucking brother. What's up?
Well, and thanks to fucking Dark Phoenix, like Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy have to turn into Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen in like less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Speaking of 90s cartoons, did you guys watch the 96 Mortal Kombat animated show?
No,
I don't even remember. I did watch some like movies though. They used to they had like this. I remember renting the VHS that had like, it was like 3 or 4 short stories, like the whole tribes thing with Sub-Zero and whatever, and how Goro rose to power in the Underrealm or whatever. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I never saw the.
Thank you for the segue, Tivis. I see what you're doing. You're like, oh, let's just get into it. Fuck.
Well,
Mortal
there was another
Kombat.
TV show at 98. I didn't know about either of these. So
Really?
Yeah. There was a few Mortal Kombat shows back in the day, and then of course the random like movies and cartoon movies and shit like that.
I'm just trying to remember. There was this live action show when Mortal Kombat was big. There was this. I want to say it was like Saturday morning. It was like right after pro wrestling. There was this. Like it was like a Mortal Kombat-esque show, and at the end they like tried to pull like a golden ring from a carousel or something. Whoever won the tournament.
It wasn't American Gladiator, was it?
No, it's
Okay.
so weird. I think it only went like a season, but it was like some. Oh my god, I don't know why I can't think of it, but like everybody had these personas, and then each week they'd come and they'd have their like tournament. It kind of reminded me of what turned into Deadliest Warrior.
It was live action?
Yeah, it was really weird. It was this like weird pseudo fake ninja Mortal Kombat tournament, and they did it every week. And ironically enough, or coincidentally enough, the black guy who fights Liu Kang in the first Mortal Kombat movie, he's one of the dudes. He's one of like the fighters that gets rotated in and out.
Gotcha.
It was so weird. You go ahead and tell everybody the topic. I'm going to see if I can find this thing. Because
I was looking myself.
Today we decided we're going to discuss Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation from 94 and 96, I believe it is.
Which I have a quick, brief summary of the history for Mortal Kombat if you want it.
Go ahead.
Do it.
All right. So it was originally released in 1992 by Midway and continued to be released by them until they went bankrupt in the late 2000s. The last game Midway released was Mortal Kombat vs. DC, which is kind of the first one that gained my interest, but then I didn't play it because the Joker's voice was terrible. Just awful. It was made by 4 people, 1 programmer, an art and story guy, a graphics designer, and a sound designer. That's the only, and they got it out within a year of announcing it. It was originally going to be a ninja themed game. Midway rejected that and told them to make an adaptation for Universal Soldier instead. So they were taking some inspiration from Enter the Dragon and Bloodsport, but they wanted to make it edgier and darker. Then when Capcom's Street Fighter 2 got really popular, Midway was like, all right, make a fighting game. So they're like, okay, well, we'll add in some Chinese mythology and look at the films Zoo Warriors and The Swordsman, which they get bootleg copies of, and they freely admit that. And they actually, Johnny Cage was their first character designed, and they admit he's a spoof of Van Damme.
Really?
I like it. It.
Then because of copyright issues, they use a K in combat instead of a C, and that's been a continual misspelling jokes throughout the series. It's a running gag. In like 2010, WB Montreal bought it, and then they have NetherRealms making it from there on, which is where I started getting interest in the series, because the first Mortal Kombat I actually played was the 2011 reboot. Which is was a retelling of the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
oh, it was also a sequel, but
Okay.
It gets complicated. So.
I also got it wrong. The first one was 95 and the second one is 97. So I was 1 year off. And then a little extra information. Well, I guess we'll dive into that as we're talking about it. So we'll just go with that.
I think I found my show that I was talking about.
All right.
It's called WMAC Masters.
WMAC Masters.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
I
can see them putting this after wrestling.
Was this on Rich Kid TV?
It might be. It was certainly a cable thing. I remember that.
Oh my God, this looks. That's definitely that era.
It's so silly, dude. It blows my mind. But yeah, the middle guy's the dude who fights Liu Kang. It's why I always remembered it.
The Machine is what he goes by.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, it's flooding the memories. Oh.
They had a Mortal Kombat themed episode, so that might be the one you saw.
There you go. Well, I saw like all the episodes. I watched them all. Yeah, so yeah, duck go that, boys, because
they have their own line of action figures.
Yep. I never bought any of those though.
Everything had their own action figures in the 90s. Too.
Bro, I'm going to be looking for clips of that show all day after this podcast. I'll tell
that
you
belt
what.
looks weird.
The what?
The belt they have.
I sent Tivis down a rabbit hole. I am sorry, guys, because that I had to talk about that.
Now that we're like 15 minutes in, let's actually get into our shit. First, we'll just start out with Mortal Kombat from 1995. This movie, I also want to let people know, it had a budget of 18 million. Opening weekend, it made over 23 million. Gross domestic was 70 million, worldwide 122 million.
Dang.
For the first Mortal Kombat.
What was its budget?
18 mil.
Damn. So pretty successful monetarily, I guess.
Yeah. We'll get into the next one when we start talking about that one, because that one's interesting.
Oh no.
Directed by Paul Anderson.
Yeah.
Written by Kevin Droney.
Weighing in at 1 hour and 41 minutes. Can we say weighing in? Yeah, I'm saying it anyways.
I like it.
And it dropped in theaters. It was August of 95 is when it came out. So,
wow.
Is that when they're releasing the new one? Is August, right?
I can look real quick.
I thought it was like August 16th.
Considering how much I bitch about that trailer and talk about
April.
it, I'm like, you'd think I'd know.
What's that?
Oh,
April next month.
April. Oh,
man, it's fast approaching.
Okay. All right, so I guess we're doing this on the right time then. So it's there.
Yeah, I thought that's why you wanted to do.
It's pretty much the reason. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so who wants to start us out? The first Mortal Kombat.
I didn't like it.
Oh, really? Oh, why not?
It didn't do any. I was bored the entire time.
How dare you? How dare you say bored? Of all the things you could say, bored? Come on.
It just didn't keep my interest. I'm like, I can't stop messing with my phone.
It's just terrible. I definitely watching it. It certainly is remembered more fondly than it actually is, like quality wise. They make a lot of weird choices. Like, it's one of those things where it's like whoever wrote it knew like really short bits and pieces, but then they just do something that is like colossal cringe. Like the CGI reptile is like, that's actually like a lizard thing. It looks really, really bad.
I remember that looking really good when this movie came out too.
Right. But man, it's just like, God, even if it looked like that back then, I don't know if I can get behind it. Cause like all the like Shang Tsung stuff looked pretty good. And like the animatronic Goro was awesome. But like,
was it animatronic or claymation?
Oh, it was animatronic.
I think it was a mixture of everything.
He was a dude in a suit that had like mechanical face. It was kind of like think like what they did with the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
In the first like movie, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And
well, he has like the same roar as the freaking Tokan Razor do in Ninja Turtles 2.
Pretty much. Definitely gives those vibes.
Done by the same company too, by the way.
That would make sense. So I like that because I liked a lot of the practical stuff they did, like with the ice stuff. And then one of my favorite fights is probably the Scorpion fight, even though there's a couple of things in there that's kind of dumb, like Johnny Cage like defying physics with the gymnastics.
I'm still confused. Let's talk about that fight since you brought it up real quick.
Yeah.
Who just walks in the middle of the random woods on a fucking island like that to get into a fight? Like, is there a cut scene where he was like told to go there, or like what's going on?
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, because it's weird how like a lot of the fights take place in these like fantastical areas, and then a couple of them are just like on the beach. Yeah, and then this one you're just randomly in the wood.
They're in the circle with the MK symbol with the dragon symbol and everything on the ground. And well, this one was just like there was nothing beachy or like islandy about those woods.
And I just like the idea of like Scorpion's stupid. I mean, luckily he can like do the teleporting thing, so I can suspend the disbelief a little more. But I like the idea of Scorpion just looking like a dumb dick, like trying to hide behind each tree while Johnny's walking just so he doesn't see him. He's like, "Oh, he can't see me." And but like I said, they like right when they start to do something kind of cool, they make it really bad. Like they made Scorpion's like spear hand dagger thing. They made it like sentient for some reason. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, it's fine. I can live with that. And then all of a sudden it's like running, like Johnny Cage starts running and the like hand rope becomes like 2 miles long.
Yeah.
And then it just stops right in front of Johnny Cage's face. I start laughing. I'm like, take 2 steps forward, you dumb dick. Like it was so dumb. And like, but it was one of those things where once you get past like the silly.
Was it that, or was it supposed to be it stopped because it got tangled up on a tree?
Well, he did, but yeah, if he just walked forward, he'd be fine.
It would have to rip through the tree though, because I think it wrapped around the tree or some shit.
Well, yeah, but you see it like cutting into the tree, so it's obviously moving back and forth. And when it stops, you see Scorpion kind of like jerk forward, like he'd hit the end of his rope. So I'm just like, just step forward, because the thing's going chomp, chomp, chomp.
Which, where's all that coming from? If it's inside,
it's so crazy, right? And I was like, that's like one of those things where I talk about like, oh, they just went too far with it. And then like once they got rid of the magic stuff, when they were just fighting was the best part. Like when it was just literally fight choreography with none of the silly spectacle-y
when they went
crap.
into like the Scorpion's lair.
Yeah, like that was pretty cool. Like I thought that fight went pretty well, and but then they do something stupid where it's like you have the get over here. So then they just have Scorpion like as if he talks like that all the time. He's like, sucker. Like it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And then he does the skeleton thing, fire breathing, fan servicey stuff.
Who were these movies made for when they were first made?
No kidding, man. It's like
it's funny because like kids would love that shit, but the adults watching would be like, the fuck? And like this movie made $122 million. Come on, that's really good.
It came out the year after Street Fighter as well.
Yeah,
that movie is a piece of shit.
Well, and see, I was just about to say, I think you could say that about you could say that about all video game movies, though. Like, when was the last one that anybody ever watched and was like, they got it pretty good?
Sonic,
like
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, see, Pikachu. Sonic. I think Sonic is probably Sonic's probably the most recent. I would say
Detective was more of an original tale,
but I would say more like. If we had to pick a video game, I mean,
Detective Pikachu got the world
Lara
right.
Croft. It'd probably be Lara Croft.
Lara Croft. Well, because I don't know. They didn't make her face like a diamond shaped and like give her like these square
the pyramid boobs. But you know, even those movies aren't very good. And don't even get me started about how shit Assassin's Creed is.
I never watched that.
Oh man, the games are like just.
Doesn't it have Fassbender in it?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
What a waste. Because Assassin's Creed is literally just the Matrix meets like Da Vinci Code and, Assassin's medieval stuff. Like you have so much cool shit that you could do, but just the people who write these video game movies suck. Like, why not just get like the teams who wrote the games to like try and do a screenplay?
That movie is canon to the game story too. It's not.
That would mean they actually have to pay the people who made the video games.
That's also true. Yes. We're going to do crunch.
At least with Pokemon, there's been like a substantial amount of like Pokemon stuff created to where when you do a Pokemon live action movie, if you fuck that world up, you just aren't paying attention at all to anything going on.
Well, it's just funny because it's like, you know,
Sonic I can get because they were trying to get, but there's Sonic cartoons too that are in with like humans and stuff. I don't understand why they didn't do a Sonic like that, but
really like that one.
Yeah. Like, or Pac-Man. Give me the Pac-Man cartoon, but like live action it. Because that shit's funny as hell.
We did. It's called Pixels.
No.
Stop it. Shut up.
Pac-Man had legs in the cartoon. Gosh.
Oh God, I forgot there was a cartoon.
Yeah.
It was essentially cool. Smurf Light.
He goes around, eats the ghosts, and then they go away, and then they come back again.
And then
it's like,
repeat. Rinse and repeat.
What are we doing?
Final thing I needed to touch on with the Scorpion Johnny Cage fight, I laugh because I'm like, once he wins, it's like, how does he get out of the nether realm? Because it was Scorpion's powers that brought him there.
He just finds a door.
Yeah.
It reminds me a
Rave
lot.
Got him.
Like Scorpion's area right there reminds me a lot of like one of Freddy's like nightmare areas when he goes into like his like cellar thing in the nightmare world and shit. It was really, that's what I always think of that. And then now in 2021, going back and watching Mortal Kombat, the first one, when you see Scorpion's spear come out of his hand, I just think of the guy from Men in Black 3.
Oh God, I barely remember that one.
Like he had those things that shot out of his hands, and he had that one little creature that crawled out too. Weird.
Gross.
Yeah.
No, I like the
Spoilers.
setup. I like the setup of the movie, and I like a lot of the basic fundamentals. But the dialogue gets kind of hokey. CGI is really bad, and the tournament stuff is so unstructured. Like I don't understand what the rules are.
Yeah, they don't really set aside. And then there's like the island belongs to Shang Tsung too, apparently, because he literally says it's my island, it's my boat. So I'm like, what? Shouldn't this be like run by someone who isn't one-sided? Like the Elder God should have been controlling that shit or something.
Well, and then I'm less like, why does the boat gotta look like shit?
We'll see in the second film that they don't give a crap.
And it's like, why does the boat like look like garbage? But I like Shang Tsung's plan to get everybody there. Like I like the reasoning for everybody being at the tournament.
But then Raiden's like okay with everyone he picked too. It's like these people just randomly show up and get on the boat, and Raiden's like, "You've been selected. You're my crew. You're mine. I helped you." Also, I can't watch that guy without thinking of Highlander. So,
oh God, he was such a miscast, dude. It hurts so bad,
so bad.
Oh,
so bad.
It's terrible.
And then they try and give him like these jokes and stuff. I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, and some of the dark humor that he tosses in there is kind of funny, but like I laughed when they were on the boat and he's like describing like, one of you is going to be the savior of like blah blah blah, and then he goes and I just started laughing because he made me laugh with his dumb fucking laugh.
Well, there's just random shit that they do that's just dumb. Like, okay, so like we're starting with the boat. We got everybody on. Like I said, I like the setup for all the characters. Mm-hmm. Like they all have motivations.
Yeah.
For wanting to be there, which I like. Then you're on the boat, you meet Raiden. You're like,
no,
God.
Let's go. If we're gonna jump into that, hold on. Let's go back. So we get our intro. One, I totally forgot about the Shang Tsung and Liu Kang's brother thing.
Yeah.
As the intro, I totally forgot about that.
I always like that opening. It really like
sets the tone.
It stuck with me. I remember.
But then they jump to Sonya Blade and Jax, who we never see that Jax again.
Nope.
But there's a scene in there where when Sonya is chasing Kano down in the nightclub, the henchman that jumps out of nowhere with like the semi-automatic gun is about to shoot at her, and she has this big ass like rifle shot. I don't know what
she's
the
got
fuck
a
her
big
thing
old
was.
shotgun and like a bunch of other people coming
Yeah.
around behind her. I'm like, how is nobody freaking out about
No one
her
freaks
running around
out with
a
the
big ass gun?
guns, and then when they're shooting, no one freaks out still
No,
when there's
no.
guns going off. It's just like boom, and then boom, and
Well,
then
you know what, and you know
nothing.
what they're trying. You know what they're trying to do. They're trying to tell you that the music's so loud that they don't notice. I'm like, get the fuck out of here! Like, what are
Right,
you?
right.
What are you doing? And especially because it like blows up. She like shoots out a glass window and all that stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like, man, my suspension of disbelief is it's fading. and that's just like in the first like 10 minutes of the film.
Not even 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of the, other than Raiden, I like a lot of the casting though. Like Johnny Cage is really good. I like Sonya. Love Robin Shaw. Always have. Who's Liu Kang? I think Shang Tsung's awesome.
Now knowing that Johnny Cage is like a kind of a spoof of Van Damme, which
Yeah.
Van Damme's now a spoof of himself anyways. But
Yeah, pretty much.
he's gonna kick my ass if I ever meet. But he's a nice guy. I like him actually. But I find him funny now rather than badass. Anyways, I really think it would be cool to have him show up in a Mortal Kombat movie as like, you know, just some random character.
And I think Johnny Cage is, I mean, I like Liu Kang, but I don't find him as nearly as engaging as Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Like he's got a more interesting motivation instead of just like, revenge.
Mhm. Well, he's
so
the only one that doesn't have like the revenge motivation. Like he just wants
Yeah.
to prove himself
Yeah, which
a good fighter, which I feel is a better motivation.
yeah, I
Like,
just find I find it
honestly?
more relatable. Like it's a lot more relatable. The actor's really charismatic. I think they really casted Johnny Cage really well because I
Yeah.
liked
Yeah.
like his one-liners are really good. I think the Goro Johnny Cage fight's one of my favorites. And it's relatively short too, but it's like I think they set up the fight really good when
Yeah.
they kill the bald black dude. I can't remember his name.
The random guy in there.
Yeah,
it was
the
his buddy.
Mr. Cannon fodder.
Yeah.
So I like the Goro fight for the most part, and it's like the only one that actually like takes place in a ring with a crowd, which is funny. And then so they do that fight, nice big setup. Johnny decides to set up the next fight, which blows my mind because I wish there was like a bracket or like a rule. So we
yeah,
would've
like in the
known.
video, like in the Sega game or something,
Yeah,
where you would see a bracket. Like they could have even used that as a transition into like from shot to the fight scenes or something.
yeah.
You know, like a cool bracket.
Well, might have. I think then you might have gotten to the point where you were doing like the comic book panels, like they used to do in like the
it's
first
the
like
90s. Who
the Hulk movie.
cares?
I don't know.
Ang Lee's Hulk movie's fucking awesome. Shut the fuck up.
Is it? Is
Shut
it
up,
though?
dude? Like, come
Is it
on.
though?
That opening intro is awesome.
I don't know, man.
I'm the only one on the planet that likes that movie. I know this.
I don't even think Ang Lee likes that movie. But it's just when they start making the rules all willy, you can tell the movie just kind of fucking gave up. Like when Raiden goes, finally, he's one of them understands, and he's like all
Yeah.
happy. It's like, wait, well, you understand. I don't understand. What is happening?
Well, not only that, it's it's Johnny Cage that is the one that is like taking initiative to do
Yeah.
something about it all. Not Liu Kang. Like he's just sitting around like a dumb fuck. Like I want to fight Shang Tsung. Let me fight him.
Yeah,
Asian
it's
on
like-
Asian crime.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's just like, I mean, I love their demeanor too. Like the three of them interacting, it's fun, but it's
Yeah.
like they're all like quippy buddy in like a day, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
no,
yeah,
that's another thing. They don't really give like a time
no, they're
of
really
this
bad
because
yeah.
it's like 1 minute you know they're like searching around and finding all this cool shit, but then they do this like montage of Goro just beating people up.
yeah,
They don't
he
do a
like
montage of any other fights but Goro's.
yeah, he
and-
fight like 8 people, and it was like,
Yeah.
what? Wait,
So how
how's that
long
work?
was that? And then he kills the one dude who's buddies with him. And then you get the random scene where it's like They just went out to a rock and he's telling her what he's doing.
Yeah.
Fucking Liu Kang's not even there. He's not telling Liu Kang what he's gonna do. He's just telling this chick. And I'm like, wait, are they like in a relationship already? What's going on? How long have they been in the island?
Yeah, like
how long is the tournament?
It reminds me of bad writing like the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. Like it's this weird thing where you're not being shown passage of time in any kind of way. So the movies are trying to tell you that it's been a while when in fact it's been like 24 hours barely. Like really remember if you go back and watch like Force Awakens, Rey meets Han Solo and by the end she's like she sees him as a father figure and it's like you've known each other for like less than 48 hours. You know,
let's see what Star Wars
Last
movies
Jedi takes like the next day.
I've always assumed the Star Wars movies were spread across multiple times and shit.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, it takes a while to get across the fucking galaxy. I guess
but literally
like
the way they
is it hyperdrive
literally like the way they
Star
write.
Wars?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like Last Jedi, like almost literally takes place like the day after they blew up Starkiller. Like it's almost dialogue, I think.
That's the stupidest thing too, because that one takes place right after the first one, but then that whole movie is just the ships going super slow the whole time.
Yeah, and so
I'm like.
And I only bring it up because it's one of the most egregious ones I think you've seen in a like big budget franchise. This was back in '95 when like I don't know, it just seems really. It always proves that there can always be bad writing no matter what.
They were setting the trope.
Well, and their passage of time just drives me fucking crazy because then it's just like I don't know what, and like especially because it's a fighting thing. Like you also assume there'd be like recoup time, right,
because you're getting your ass kicked or whatnot.
Yeah, and you'd barely even see a lot of injuries on people. It's kind of why you have them like just.
I would like
that's
I would like the Snyder cut of this movie, so I know the exact time frame of everything.
Yeah.
This might be a franchise he could do well, honestly. Because that was one of the biggest complaints when it came out, was that it was PG-13 for a game that was heavily criticized for the violence.
Yeah, both of them are PG-13. I didn't remember that. The Legacy show is not a PG-13 show at all. The new movie coming out is a hard R with a hard R.
You know what would probably be a good combo for this? Get James Wan and Jackie Chan. Have Jackie Chan do the stunt choreography stuff and James Wan direct and produce it. Because he did like the Insidious movies, so he can do like lower budget stuff. Wow. He did like Star Trek Beyond. And I think he even did the Fast and Furious 7 or 8 or something. So he can do like the high octane glamour polished look. And
he's done a
good
couple
with
of
special
Fast and
effects.
Furious movies.
And he's good with special effects and stuff too.
Was he the same guy who did the Star Trek movie?
Beyond. Yeah, he was the third one, I think.
Yeah, because they do that stupid motorcycle scene that made no sense.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay. I mean, it was cool, but it was like,
but it had no purpose being there.
It's like there's just randomly an old motorcycle on an old starship that has been on this planet forever, and you found gas somewhere and oil,
right?
And nothing is fucked up on it. Like I know bikes in garages right now that are seized up that you can't start up and shit, and we have everything right now to start them.
How dare you shut up? It's science fiction. God.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They probably just cloned the parts or some shit, right?
Ugh, so dumb. But yeah, I mean, you get halfway through the tournament, you don't know what's going on, and now we're in Outworld. What? Because Shang Tsung just kidnapped Sonya, and I'm just sitting here like, why though?
Yeah,
like he's like, oh, he's worried that it's like, okay, but then when we see them again, he like put her in like a trashy outfit and like gave her 80s hair.
Where's this rule though that they have to accept, that both parties have to accept the fight? Because I would like that rule in the video game. Because maybe I don't want to fight some of the people when I'm playing the tournament.
They just made it up for the fuck of it towards the end. I'm telling you, it felt like near the third act, the movie just kind of gave up, and they're like, we need to get to the temple, so they fight each other. I was like, I don't even think we needed any of the Outworld stuff, because really the only thing you get from the fact that it's in Outworld is you get that stupid reptile fight, which just blows my mind. Even though it was a good fight, like,
you just get the setup for the next movie. That's all you get.
Pretty much, yeah. And I do get one of my favorite lines though, when Johnny's walking with Lou, and he's going down. He's like, "Look, man, I'm in a hostile environment. I don't know where I am, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who probably want to kick my ass. It's like being back in high school."
Yeah.
He gets all the best lines too. Like, those were $500 sunglasses, asshole. And then he fucking yeets him off a cliff.
Which, if you pay attention to that scene, Goro crushes his glasses. Yeah. And you hear shattering glass. Then he throws them down, and the glasses are not broken at all. Like,
no, they're just like bent.
They're just bent out, and like the things popped out of the glass. That's it, or glass frame.
Classic. But the crotch nut shot. Classic.
Yeah,
that's one of the better fan servicey moments, I think.
I remember doing that to my brothers after watching that movie.
That is one thing I'm not too excited about with the new one.
What
is no Johnny Cage?
No,
it really blows my mind, dude. It really blows my mind, because I couldn't believe it while I was watching it. I'm like, I think Johnny Cage is the fucking protagonist of this film. Like, I get that we open up with Lou, but again, I just think Johnny Cage is the most interesting one. So I guess, and I think
John.
The music's really good too.
The white guy, the only white guy in the world, doesn't have to be the interesting one.
Hey, Raiden. How dare you? They race Ben Raiden.
He shouldn't be white either.
I know. It's such a bad.
And I think they had the chance to change him in the sequel, and they still fucked up.
I think they literally made the worst casting decision with that. I think it's just the worst.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you had you were able to have all those actors for the Tibetan monks, and you couldn't find one person who could act like a decent Raiden. You could have
had freaking Jackie Chan at that point. And your movie probably would have sold even more tickets.
This is true.
Because fucking Jackie Chan was on fire in the 90s. So, that was around what? The Brooklyn one that he did and shit like
Rumble
that.
in the Bronx?
Rumble in the Bronx, yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
It's one of Nicky's top 3 movies.
Broke his leg.
It just broken almost every bone in his body.
I imagine.
You were talking about how much money it made in the box office. Did you see the only film it went head to head with?
No.
The Babysitter's Club.
Oh, they had a Babysitter's Club movie?
Mm-hmm.
Probably came after the traveling pants shit. They're like, hey.
90. Nope, that's when the game. 94. Is that when this came out?
95.
95. Thunderbolt. Rumble in the Bronx.
Dang.
Yeah.
And then I just gotta say, like, the end fight is ridiculous. It's like, oh, why does Shake Sun get to fucking bring out like 10 zombie people? Because it made me annoyed, because you could have kept Sonya and Johnny around just to help him fight the dead souls, so at least it would have been a little bit more fair. Instead of Liu Kang kicking the shit out of literally like 6 dudes and then still being strong enough to beat Shang Tsung at the end.
In the game, because I don't follow the storyline in the game, I just play the game for fighty. In the game, is Liu Kang like the top dog for the mortals?
Usually,
not the mortals, the humans.
Usually, it's either him or Kano.
Really, it's Kano?
Yeah, because he was one of the first descendants. I think he's like one of the first winners, like one of the first like human winners.
They just made Kano look like a fucking ass in this movie.
Oh yeah,
like
no,
he was like a mix of
or not Kano.
Jones,
what am I saying? Kung Lao.
Also,
I meant Kung Lao.
Okay, Kung Lao.
Sorry,
yeah.
I meant Kung Lao.
I was gonna say Kano
with razor hat. No, they're doing. I think they're making him a goodie for a minute in the new one.
Well, the guy who,
okay.
in Kung Lao, because they actually had him in Legacy, in the Mortal Kombat Legacy show. That's not even like he's still a descendant of Kung Lao too. From what I recall in the game, like there's a Kung Lao, and then there's like descendants of him, and then you have Kung Lao. So I think Kung Lao, and wouldn't that make him and dude related?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't know. I've never
Mortal Kombat is not like all the mushy shit. I don't pay attention to that shit.
Oh, it's random. Like, especially when the new ones come out, the games are kind of infuriating, but I like checking out the character designs, and I'll watch those like YouTube videos where people just smash cut all the
cutscenes and shit.
Yeah, cutscenes together to watch it. It's like a 2-hour or 3-hour movie, and I'm like, this makes absolutely zero sense, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And the thing about the games at this point, there's only been one. Mortal Kombat story actually started in Mortal Kombat 2 with a small comic tie-in. Mortal Kombat 3 came out the year this movie did. They may have informed them on some of the things they were doing in that. They may not have. So there's very little that they had to go on.
Gotcha. But yeah, I guess with the Shang Tsung fight, I liked a couple of the things they did with it, like with the souls coming out of them. I like the line, all those souls and you still don't have one of your own. I was like, there's some good dialogue. There's some good moments in here, but overall it's pretty trash. The soundtrack's really dope too. I like the soundtrack a lot.
Oh, this song better be in the new film, Unchanged.
Right? Oh man.
Don't do what you did with Ghostbusters.
I will say that's the one like really great part about Annihilation is the theme song is like way better. It's like way more amped up and like hardcore.
Yeah.
I like it.
I remember
more.
this playing all the time on the radio.
Oh, dude, I used to have it on my like Zune when I went to the gym. Oh, dude, it's what the Annihilation soundtrack's like perfect for a gym workout, man. It'll fire you up.
Dude, I was listening to the credits after that one. Okay, we're transitioning to that one, I'm guessing.
Oh,
well, no, we're still got. You got anything to say on the first one, Tivis?
I don't know.
What didn't you like? Because you don't like this. So, like, what is it?
I don't know. It just didn't
not like
do anything for me. It's nothing that it did wrong. It's just I have no love for the old games. I saw the second one way more on TV, so I have more nostalgia for it.
What?
I mean, it was all right.
Do you not like filmmaking? Okay, I got it.
Oh, damn.
I got it. Do you not like good storytelling? Oh, no, you don't like Snyder stuff, so no, you don't.
Snyder.
No, I'm just fucking with you guys on that one.
More like Hack Snyder, am I right? Am I right, fellas?
I do displease plot holes, so you are correct, Mike.
No, I think this movie's definitely fun to watch. I only push back on you say it's boring. I don't see how it's boring.
I think I just said I displease plot holes.
There are slow points in it, but I think
I don't know. It didn't grab
point for you to start paying attention to the actual story rather than fighty all the time.
Yeah, a lot of times I like I said, I like the setup to get them there, and then once they kind of get there, they just throw all the rules out.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know if I can use that phrase because I'm not even sure they ever established any actual rules. So it makes
they don't establish anything in this movie.
It makes it really strange.
No.
Like the only thing the movie actually sets up is character motivation, and that's about it. Which nowadays it's the other way around.
And
like,
they don't
characters
even
are just like archetypes.
Like the characters don't even develop because Sonya kills the dude that she was going there to kill. Liu Kang kills the dude he was going there to kill. The only one who like develops a little bit is Johnny Cage.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't even say he developed because he was going there to prove himself, and he proved himself by beating the big dog in the house.
Yeah, and we didn't really get to see the conclusion to that story. Really, it's like I think we're supposed to infer that he's proved to himself that he's good when he beats Goro.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what we're supposed to infer.
None of them grew from like their stupid little reasons as to why they were going.
They just accomplished their reasons.
Accomplished them. It's not like, at the end where Liu Kang would just be like, well, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to let, your souls kill you or some shit, instead of him killing him, which is what he wanted to do in the first place. Like, let the souls that are coming out, like finally escaping, take over and kill him, instead of you doing it yourself to get your gratification that you wanted to kill this guy because he killed your brother. Like, I don't know. That's just, to me, there was no development. They didn't change at all.
I just enjoyed it for the basic fundamental stuff, but it can be a bit of a slog, especially if you don't even care at all about the quote unquote franchise at this point. I don't know if it's really worth the time. I was saying, I think, like, especially for its time and things like that, there are a couple of CGI missteps, but there's a lot of good practical stuff. I would probably put this somewhere around a 5, like a nice little average movie you could maybe enjoy.
How about just rate it with video game movies? Just rate it as a video game movie. Where would you put it with video game films?
Well, I don't like to do that dissection, just because then it's like almost getting a pass because it is a comic book movie or
I can tell you where it sits on grossing.
Sure.
I know that's not really a metric for how good it is, but it is 7th.
A what?
It is 7th on the list of highest grossing video game movies. And it's the 4th one to come out, so it's held up there pretty well.
Video game movies, though, out of how many?
Especially
out of how many?
Because there's a lot.
Give me a second, and I'll count them.
I'd say all the Lara Croft movies, all the Mortal Kombat, Sonic, Pokemon. And they're just going off
12,
live
13,
action,
14,
right? Not
15,
cartoon
16,
too.
17. Cartoons as well.
I'd imagine they're going with both.
They're going with 18, animated
19,
too?
Which I'm fine with. I mean, a movie's still a movie.
Like, if it got a theatrical release, like Pokemon, the first movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
21, 22, 23,
I still have fond memories of that one. I should
Is
go
that
back
the first one with Mewtwo, right?
30, 31, 32.
They all have fucking Mewtwo at some point. They can't help themselves.
39, 44.
He's their Tony Stark.
No, I would say, honestly, if I had to be completely honest, I'd probably rate it like a 3.5 out of 10, maybe. Because I'm like, you have your basic storytelling stuff in there, but I don't think it's well executed. But like the fan servicey stuff is passable and pretty good. And like I said, a lot of like the fights are pretty decent. And I like a lot of the practical effects. So like just the movie making elements of it keep me a little bit engaged. So that's why I could give it like a 5, like right in the middle. Like, I'm not mad that I watched it, but I'm not like, ooh, this is amazing.
I lost count. So there's around between 35 and 38 video game movies out right now.
and it grossed 7th highest. Oh, okay. Considering it had like 2 video games at that point and had a bit of a fan base when it came out. Yeah, I could see why it made that kind of money.
Yeah.
And the trailer looked cool. If you go to patreon.com/operationbabble, you can see I covered this and Annihilation's original trailers, with the whole like in a world, like that voice.
I missed the voiceover guy.
I actually asked myself, I'm like, do I miss this? And I kind of think I do.
I do. I do. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's.
You guys want to know the tomato reading? Not that we at Operation Babble don't give 2 shits.
I know it, but go ahead.
That's nice to know.
44% tomato, but 57% audience score. So it's better than.
Hey, that's almost my percentage technically. If you think about it.
Do you want
to read the sequels? No.
I said 3.5 out of 10. That's essentially a 35%.
Yeah.
And then I said, what, 5 right down
this
the middle?
This one person basically said what we were saying because you don't know where the tone is. They say, it is too violent for children and too silly for anyone else.
Yeah, kind of. That's almost perfect.
So, yeah.
That's a perfect way to put it, I'd say.
That's from Financial Times, Nigel Andrews.
With me, video game movies, the bar is kind of set with Street Fighter, which is a ridiculously absurd film, but it's fun.
Man,
and this one just didn't make that bar for me.
I always forget that Ming-Na Wen was Chun-Li because she is fucking stacked, dude. She's huge in that film, and then like she slims down in everything else.
She's what?
Ming-Na Wen was Chun-Li. Remember how fucking buff she was? I'm pretty sure. Am I right?
I believe you are. I can look. I got it open.
In this?
No. Chun-Li is Street Fighter, you dipshit.
Oh, Chung. I was about to say.
You're right.
I was like, I'm looking at a bunch of different things.
You almost did like a Vox article fuck up there.
Yeah, no.
Well, he saw something that distracted him, and then he wasn't.
I need to watch Street. Oh, I was reading this thing, and it made me think. Okay, now I need to watch these two movies again because I want to watch them again. Street Fighter and Super Mario Brothers because I love Super Mario Brothers.
Oh my god, Super Mario Brothers!
Which was the very first video game movie.
I remembered not liking that when that first came out.
It has nothing to do with the video game, and I fucking love it. I have the John Leguizamo action figure with the boots, the jet boots.
Fucking
it was like
Bob
my
Hoskins.
favorite action figure.
I want to watch that so bad. It's been such a long time since I've seen it.
That'd be
Let's
funny.
watch it. Let's do it.
I'd watch it.
All right.
Terrible.
Yeah. So that's. I
Wow.
don't know.
Whoa,
Mortal
Michael, what
Kombat.
happened?
I liked it.
Michael
Mike.
went real fuzzy.
Whoa. There we go.
That's fucked up.
That was the world trying to silence me. They're like,
Michael
no one
was
can
like,
see
"Oh,
you."
Tivis, I don't feel so good. So
like
look
he
at
was,
that. Myke Shrews liked something and Tivis didn't. All right.
It just didn't grab me. I can't explain what didn't, but it just didn't. Other than the
Hashtag
music.
not me too.
Oh man. No. Bringing that back, huh?
You can't cancel someone who's not cancelable.
Can't
that make sense? Yeah. Anyways, guys.
But yeah, and then it just ends. The movie kind of just ends. They're walking off into the sunset in Tibet.
No, they didn't. No. The movie kind of just ends with like the massive cliffhanger that they like show
fucking Shao Kahn in the
Shao
fucking
Kahn
sky.
In the sky. Yeah.
I've come for your souls.
And then they
I
do
don't
the
think
dope
so.
little fight scene like
It just makes me sad that the last words are "I don't think so," and Raiden gets them, and then it's strike a
Did you say
pose.
Royden?
I kind of.
I might have.
I kind of want to go into the second one with Mike reading the Rotten Tomatoes score for that one real quick.
Do it.
Okay.
Because
Wait,
I
for
already know
me
what
or
it
you?
is. You read it.
Annihilation, Rotten Tomatoes. All right, so first going into Mortal Kombat Annihilation, this is the 1997 film with a runtime
Sequel.
of 1 hour and 35 minutes.
And this one was mostly an adaptation for the third game.
Okay. And this was released November 21st, 1997. So a little more than 2 years later. The budget on this one, the first one was 18 million. The budget on this one was 30 million.
Holy shit! And it does not look like it.
The
I'll tell you that.
opening weekend gross domestically anyways was 16 million. That's it. If we go back to the first one, the opening domestic was 23 million. It blew over its budget. It made over its budget domestically just with opening weekend.
The total box office for the second one was 51 million. So it only made like 20 million.
Dude, I was getting to that. You got the gross domestic was 35 million. So domestically it only made 5 million more than the budget.
Oof.
But then yes, it did make 51 total. Whereas the first one made 122 million total.
Damn.
So that's why there was never a Mortal Kombat 3.
There was no trilogy this time. God, and this movie had that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action to The Secret of the Ooze kind of thing with me going back and watching. Is that the second one I watched way more. I saw this movie like 7 times in theaters, like to a point where me and my friend, it was like the third time we'd gone together. We were the only 2 people in the theater. I'm not kidding you. And we were like, when the like credits
TMNT
hit,
2 was a lot better.
well, yeah, in comparison to this film, yes. But I'm
Yes.
talking more like Annihilation was the one I watched a lot more. And then going on retrospect, the first one is better on a technical level. The second one has way more watchability because of how fucking terrible it is.
Yeah.
It's so bad, it's funny. Like, that's the only way I can describe this movie, is that it ranks all the cheese and fan service and stuff. It cranks it to 11, and it does it so poorly. Like, in a really cheap sci-fi way.
It really annoys me too, because both of these movies were made years after Secret of the Ooze, TMNT 2.
Oh, sure.
And like, I don't know what the budget of Secret of the Ooze was, but that was made in 91. I know that. Let me see what the budget was on that thing.
Now,
Are you looking it up?
Well, it just blows my mind because it was like, I just remembered the second one more fondly because it was the one I watched, because it was just like sillier. But the first one's like better, and I had the exact same problem with the Turtles movies.
The budget for the TMNT 2 Secret of the Ooze in 91 was 25 million. That's 5 million less than this movie here, the second movie.
Yeah.
So that really annoys me that it looks shitty with their stuff.
Well, I think it's because you not only did you have a lot of practical stuff with like a lot of the costumes and suits and like weird like set pieces, but then you can tell they went fucking ballistic with CGI, like, and it's all like pretty bad. Like, we even get to like animality stuff at the end that just looks terrible. For like, the video games had better looking cutscenes at that point. Like,
it
was really sad. It's really sad to watch.
Before I get off track too much, the first movie was 18 million. The first TMNT movie was 13 million. So even there, I'm like, these movies had lower budgets and they are so much more well put together and everything. Unfortunately.
It blows my mind that they're like, it's so bad. And this movie takes like, it's literally starting like almost 5 minutes from where we left off in the first film.
Not even. It literally starts because they kind of like reboot the ending of that movie, like retcon it a little bit with just like the people falling out of the place. And is that Centaur looking dude, the Minotaur or whatever? No, Centaur. Is he like an actual character? I've never seen him in the
It's Motaro. Yeah. Yeah, he's totally a character.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then we had Shiva in there for all of fucking 2 seconds. That was fucking pointless. I love how she dies.
That's the Goro chick.
Yeah.
They didn't even do like what they did for Goro with her. It looked like they just cloned her arms, because everything her top arms did, her bottom arms did. Where at least Goro, he like all 4 of his arms moved differently.
Because they were all puppeteered. The arms were puppeteered. This was like, it felt like they were more like CGI'd almost.
It looked like it was CGI. It really did.
Even though they might be prosthetic, but it's like that same thing like you see now in like Marvel movies where it's like, yeah, they're wearing the actual physical suit or whatever, but then they put this weird CGI polish on it that makes it look fucking fake. And I'm like, why'd you even bother?
Yeah. That's crazy.
But I will say again, everything gets cranked up to 11, especially the soundtrack. I will recommend to the day I die that you buy the soundtrack to Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It is so amped up and like, it's almost like rave music meets like crazy rock music. It's insanity.
I think there's a Rammstein song. I was listening to the end of the credits. Rammstein.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, right there. It's the second one on the soundtrack.
So I put in my notes just like 2 things for this movie.
From the underground.
And the first one happened like about halfway through the movie. I was like, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It's like a rave had a baby and that baby made a movie.
It doesn't feel far off. I like that. You know, and it's funny because we were waxing so nostalgic about the first one, Michael, with Johnny Cage. Of course, what do? They fucking yeet him out of the movie in the first 2 minutes.
Well, okay, so let's go to the beginning of this fucking movie.
Well, did you read the
ninjas fall out of the sky wearing MC Hammer pants?
Tivis wanted me to read the Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 25% audience score for Annihilation.
Woof.
And a 2% tomato score.
Wow.
The main creators, John Tobias, who came up with the original concept, and Ed Boon, who helped him sculpt it into what it became. They two different interviews. They both said that Annihilation is their personal worst moment in history of the franchise working on it. Also, the reason Scorpion talked like he did is because Ed Boon voiced him just like he does in the game for both movies.
Huh. That's funny. Well, it's not so much about how he sounds. It was what he was saying. I hate the fact that he talks like that. Like you can give him that voice and have him say long sentences or something, not get over here. And they're like, well, if he says everything, like he just says everything like that. It's like, where's my wallet?
It's Batman.
Suckers.
I literally thought they
you know what I mean?
Took a soundbite.
I found my keys. I found my keys.
I literally thought they just took a soundbite, and I didn't realize Ed Boon was voicing him.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the first critic thing on here is from Chris Stuckman.
No shit.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation is a joke.
That's it, Chris. You can't give me more.
I mean, I could click the full review, but I'm just reading like the stupid little bubbles that they have there.
Gotcha.
With like their basic, and then another person, it wastes no time getting to the punching, kicking, stomping, and zapping that passes for a cinematic event. Okay.
But it's so cartoony. But again, the physical fight choreography is actually pretty good. It's when they start doing the wire work and the CGI shit, it just loses its mind.
Well,
ending?
Let's go to the beginning of this because this movie recasts everybody,
Sonya,
except
Jax,
for the only
Liu
two
Kang.
Liu Kang and the princess chick,
Katana.
See, I don't know these fucking characters.
Yeah, well, I got you. And like one of the most egregious ones, I mean, Sonya is pretty obvious, but you have Jax. And I love
he with them though, he wasn't in the first movie a whole lot, like a couple scenes. That's about it. Well, he was a lot older in the first movie.
I just love that Sonya goes from being in that trashy dress that they saved her in from Shang Tsung's temple to she's in her like classic like white shirt, green pants all of a sudden. In the second movie. It's like all of a sudden there's a costume change. And then it's like, but my favorite part is immediately not Shang Tsung, but God damn it, Shao Kahn shows up with all his like mercenaries and his putties. It's just a bunch of ninjas who fall out of the sky wearing MC Hammer pants. It's fucking hysterical. I'm like, how'd they get put out? But it just
maybe
starts
that's why
off
they
insane.
did this movie the way they did, because Power Rangers was big this time, and 96 was the first Power Rangers movie. I mean,
That's possible.
I
don't know. The first Power Rangers film is
they
a little
did
bit
recast Johnny Cage as well with one of the guys from Hercules, but he actually
Chris Conrad.
He was the closest looking one to the original characters that they got. And then they recast Raiden with Dexter's dad. So and I can't watch him in that without thinking that. So.
I just remember
he looks like a douchebag in this movie too.
Oh yeah, I just always remember that he was on Sex and the City. I don't know why I know that.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh man, Steven Spielberg was supposed to have a cameo in the first one. I'm looking at the cast list.
Oh,
he
my
was.
goodness.
Wasn't that Oh no, it was a guy
he was
dressed
supposed
like
to be
Spielberg.
Cage's director.
Yeah. Because I looked at him, I was like, that's like Steven. They're like making fun of Spielberg.
I actually think I bring that up in the commentary that Hannah and I did when we watched this.
Yeah.
I get pissed off immediately because, like I said, Johnny Cage was my favorite character.
Yeah.
From the first one. So then they yeet him out of the movie, and I get really pissed off.
This one dives really heavy onto the female cast for real, and for 97, look, people, females are
well. I mean, think about all the female characters, but I mean, Shiva gets a fucking shitty ending. But yeah, I mean, you have like one of the main storylines is the Sindel katana stuff. Melina comes in and fights. You have Shiva and a bunch of Sonya stuff.
And Sonya,
But then,
but then they do a fucking women's mud wrestling scene too.
I know, right? Between Sonya and Melina, I was fucking dying. I was like,
that
we
was
couldn't
the only
find a
other
canyon
note.
filled with Jello, so
Right?
mud will have to do.
That was my only other note. I was like, okay, so Jax walks away, and then she gets into a mud wrestling fucking fight with another chick.
And as we go, I will just get it out of the way right now.
Yeah.
Not unlike with Johnny Cage in the first movie, the ancillary random character who's not necessarily the protagonist ends up being my favorite character, and I think the best written in the whole movie. Jax, I think, is the best character in the film.
He was always my
100%.
favorite.
He has more character than anybody in the movie.
Well, again, it's the same storyline that Johnny Cage had. He has to prove to himself that he's capable.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of his arms. Is
with
he gets the
him,
enhancements because he has low confidence.
Right. But by the end of the movie, he actually does prove it to himself, you know. And then he doesn't get his neck busted in the next movie because there was no other movie.
Because there was no other movie.
It got canceled.
Yeah, he had a full arc. And I was like, wow. The whole time I'm surprised. The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, holy shit, I think Jax is my favorite character. And it just surprises me like every other scene. Because he gets a bunch of the one-liners. And it's like, they wanted you to like all the female characters really well. And you want to like Liu Kang. And then they put a lot of stuff on Raiden. And I just couldn't give a shit about half of it.
And he looks like a douchebag in this movie. Like,
especially after he cuts his hair even.
Once he cuts his hair, once he becomes mortal, it's just like, really, bro? Like, this was whoever designed this.
He looks like retarded Aladdin. Like, he just looks dumb. He comes out in a blue vest and like khaki pants. I'm just like, what? You look like an asshole.
Oh, his jump into the world too is also fucking stupid.
Can't have that rice patty hat, but damn it, we'll give him some khakis.
So they were still planning on making the third film in this series up until the Midway went bankrupt.
Damn.
Like, there's reports of it being delayed after Hurricane Katrina hit in New Orleans.
Only made 20 million worldwide off of it, though. That's not a lot of money.
Well, I guess you still got a profit, I guess, but
not after advertising, because usually your budget doesn't show your advertising.
Yeah,
budget,
I suppose.
Yeah, don't they always say double it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch this movie a lot more than I'm proud of, but it is 100 times so much worse than the first one. But again,
more enjoyable somehow.
It's well, because it immediately goes in like with the CGI and stuff right off the bat. It's so bad that you're like, you knew what you were getting the rest of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally like it's like starting up Sharknado. It's like I understood what's happening, and
but Sharknado was self-aware.
But that's what I'm saying is like this sadly isn't. But for some reason, it's so corny and bad that it's enjoyable to watch. It's just watching the dumpster fire. It's a lot of fun. And again, the soundtrack walks me through it. I'm not going to lie. It really holds my hand throughout this film.
It's just a big old rave. This is a movie you could literally play in a rave and no one would know the difference.
Oh, I agree. It's just like, it's the equivalent of just the blood rave scene from the first Blade for an hour. For just an hour and 15 minutes.
I thought I pictured that scene when Sonya was in the first movie going through the club. That's the scene I pictured.
Gotcha.
I appreciate the continuity with Scorpion's living chains, though.
Oh my God.
It wasn't even the same Scorpion. It was a new Scorpion. There's supposed to only be one fucking Scorpion.
He got an upgrade. Shut up.
He died, and
there's
then they brought him
also
back again.
Cyrax, which is the robot Scorpion.
Oh God. I think I sent you guys the video. That's one of my favorite parts is we're watching Cyrax shows up and I'm like, why is Ant-Man here? And I was like, okay, if you know the video game, you are creaming your pants right now. And Hannah goes, so if you know the video game, this all makes sense. No, no, it doesn't.
They threw as many as the ninja characters in this as possible. You got Rain, Smoke,
Earth,
New
Wind,
and
Fire.
Who was Rain? Which one was Rain?
Rain. I don't even know if he had
Was
a
he
huge
one of the
part.
generals? He was one of the generals, right?
I think so, yeah.
Noob Sabot.
Who was the red one? At the end of the
Ermac?
movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ermac.
Ermac, yeah.
ERMAC, I think.
Gotcha.
I'm finding out I know a lot more about these games than I fucking actually understood. I actually surprised myself a lot. I was like, why do I know that?
I'm a
If
bigger
anyone
nerd
out
than I
there-
thought.
Yeah, right. God, I am a basement dweller. Fuck.
Anyone out there who plays, games and doesn't mind the fighting game, I actually recommend the NetherRealm reboots. They're really fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, those
I
games
won't
are always
do
just
that,
infuriating. Me. Yeah.
I
Fighting
always
games
put
are always
the
just annoying. to me.
difficulty down to easy, so
I
There you go.
actually liked the Mortal Kombat vs. DC game, which then got me the what is that one? Not Eternals.
Injustice. What are you talking
Injustice, yes, thank
Injustice,
you.
yeah.
The Injustice games. So
about? Yeah, I
That's
love all
made
the,
the same people that did the reboot.
yeah, I like those storylines.
Yeah.
The Mortal Kombat 11, they fucking lose their shit. Like they're doing like Outworld, NetherRealm, time
but
stuff.
you can be like Hellboy and shit, right?
Yeah.
And the Ninja Turtle. I got that one.
Oh, that's an Injustice too, yeah.
I
was
will
that Injustice
say,
too? Okay.
I will say I'm impressed with how they have like a storyline or like an ending for every character, and it's actually relatively good. So I always found that interesting. That seemed like a lot of effort. But
Yeah. I don't know.
there's really not much to say about this film. Like they try to do the animality stuff. They bring in the robots. They do a ton.
Well-
like Baraka comes in and he gets
looks like
fucking
ass.
yeeted.
Looks like fucking ass.
He looks terrible.
Looks like
it's like
shit.
the one like super practical like animal or creature other than like the robots that are just like they look like they're wearing paintball armor. It just looks so
I
dumb.
do like the actor that plays Shao Kahn though.
Yeah, I think he does a good job.
Um,
And proliferating the idea that the bald guy's the villain, so that's cool.
Yeah. I honestly was like, if they redid this movie, like the exact movie, I was like, you could put Vin Diesel in that role right now.
Oh God, please don't.
Please do.
I did
Groot.
appreciate that they did go out of their way to add more of the in-game abilities, like Sub-Zero making an ice sculpture of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the fan servicey stuff's fun. I mean,
That's all this
watchable.
movie is fan
It's
service.
nuts, dude. It's really all I could say. Like, I don't know if I can really break this all down and there's just so much that they have like 4 storylines. They have the Katana Sindel storyline.
Yeah.
They have the Shao Kahn Raiden being brothers. That's 2. You have the Jax and Sonya stuff going on, and then Liu Kang and the animality stuff, and then he ends up with like Jade.
Mhm.
There's just so much to follow, and by the end, you're like, I don't even know who I'm supposed to be rooting for anymore.
This was totally like them being like, we're gonna make a movie like Star Wars. Everyone gets their own thing,
Yeah,
and then we're all gonna come together at the end.
It was
And then
not
we're
even-
gonna look
yeah.
like Power Rangers in the middle of the fucking desert, and then we're gonna teleport somewhere else that we really need to get to.
This is where we had to have our fight on the CGI castle. Michael, shut up.
Yeah.
God.
Apparently they had Melina in the movie, which I don't know why you would even do. Maybe they didn't establish her scary fucking predator face yet.
So you could have the mud wrestling match, Tivis.
That's all that was for.
Shut up.
Yeah, but-
Eat your slop. Enjoy
That-
it.
character is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they'd established that she had the fucking grotesque
I don't.
face
That's
at
what
that
I'm
point.
wondering.
that mud
too.
wrestling scene it probably was
Awesome.
fine. It was fine when it came out. What doesn't help though
Yeah.
is Jax's comments towards her afterwards.
That's also awesome, but I love the fact that we never have a scene where like her shirt gets back to pure white in the next scene. I was like, you couldn't even like have hinted
she
dirt
does
on it.
say before they walk away, she does say, I need to find the river. So at least they're like kind of implanting like how she's gonna get
Oh, eat
cleaned
my
up,
butt.
but-
Her pure white.
Dude,
I
I'm not
want
trying to defend this fucking movie.
I want the
I'm just
detergent she
saying.
used from the river.
I remember her saying that specifically. I was like, oh, that's nice. They actually are thinking in the movie realm rather than just
A nice
next
little
scene she's
throwaway
gonna
line.
be.
They're like, I need to go to OxyClean River, OxyClean Lake, to get my shirt back to its pearly whiteness.
I don't know if I like that actress more or the other one. The other one, I think I've just seen her be really bitchy in a lot of other movies.
Yeah.
So
Both of them
it's-
are passable.
Yeah.
It's not like it's highbrow
Who's playing
acting anyway.
the actress? Who's the actress?
Who was playing
in the,
the
new one?
actress?
Who's the actress in the new one?
Oh, I don't know her name. I never
Oh.
looked. I couldn't be arsed.
I
Give
hope
me
they
a
just
second.
did, like a bunch of no names that nobody knows. Of course they
Really?
didn't, because Jax is fucking from Supergirl. James Olsen, sorry.
Whoops, nope. That's the video game. Hang on. Open the wrong tab.
Yeah, this movie. And
Okay,
then on
it
Earth
is,
we have these random holes everywhere where we just ride through some balls into these holes.
Oh, so random. We use and I love how they try to science their way out of it. They're like, oh, we channel
Yeah.
the thermal air from the Earth's core. It's like, okay, that just means you'd be really hot and steamy. You
I
fucking
pulled up
asshole.
the cast list for the new movie.
Oh no. The
Well,
new movie
before you
or
do that,
for
before-
Annihilation?
Before you do the new movie cast and shit, Tivis,
Yeah.
you like this movie, right?
Yeah.
Tell us what you like about it.
Uh,
Since we're like over here shitting on stuff.
well, I think my thoughts can be summed up in this
In
this
3
review
words.
from Schaefer of IGN
Mhm.
that he wrote in 2011.
God.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation is a bad movie. No way around it. Over the years, however, it has evolved into a cult hit of sorts, playing as an unintentional comedy.
Yeah.
So-
I would unironically pick Annihilation over the first one ever. Like I would always watch the second one first. Again, if I went back and watched the first stuff, it would really just be for the fights pretty much and anything with the Johnny Cage stuff. I like all those scenes. Like I forgot his like best callback. This is where you fall down. Like that was such a great callback in the
Yeah.
in the movie. But yeah, this second one, it's a bit of a nightmare.
Also,
Not gonna
isn't
That ending is
Goro's
so
royalty?
bad.
Why the fuck did like nothing bad happen? Well, I guess something bad happened to him in the next movie, but
Yeah.
like you killed a royal prince. Like no one's batting an eye at that. Like
We don't have time for that, Michael. We don't have time for that.
no, instead we have to kidnap somebody.
I will have to say that I completely agree with like the Rotten Tomato score because I would probably give this a 4 for the fun of it.
Mhm.
And then I'd probably give it like a 2.5 on all the other stuff because it's real shit. It's a really bad film.
I wouldn't even give it a 4 for fun.
I had a lot of fun.
I
It's
turned-
one of those.
So
You'd have to let the person know that what you're watching. It's like, okay, they fuck it up and they don't realize they're fucking it
fuck?
up, but it is really bad. But it's like think sci-fi, like crappy sci-fi film. I don't
I
know what you're
watched-
trying to do.
I'm trying to get it to not key out for some reason. It's keying this out and it's black. I watched both of these. I started them last night at like 11 something. The second one came to stay awake. I ate a bunch of hot peppers to wake myself up because I was falling asleep during the first one. I was like, oh, I need to watch this not because it's a boring movie, Tivis. Thank you very much.
Oh snap! Shots fired.
Because I was tired. But yeah, the
Fatality.
second one, I was just like, I should be more into this because of how upbeat it is. I don't know. Annihilation just, I don't know. Raiden's dumb face was kept pissing me off too.
I'm sorry, you're just wrong. The intro to this movie, I'm insta hyped. Like the Mortal Kombat thing pops on and the like CGI like title screen thing.
Yeah.
The fire coming out of the oh, it's so solid, dude. I don't
know.
care. Like I'm ready to sprint.
I
The
turned
second
it
it's
off
over.
with like, I think there was like 30 minutes with credits probably. left, and I turned it off with that amount. And then I was gonna go to bed instantly, and I was like, and I turned off the Xbox, and then fucking Impractical Jokers was on, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here and watch this for half an hour instead.
Oh my god!
So I got up early this morning to finish the movie, but I was like, man, like, no, I don't know. Annihilation. I think maybe because recently
you just hate fun, Michael.
Watched,
you hate fun and you hate women.
Yeah, I do. Every single thing you said is true, John. Everything you say, because people on the internet say all true. Okay, fucking hell, I'm gonna get off topic here.
No, that's a different thing.
Okay, we were watching King Kong, or Kong Skull Island, I should say.
As he beats his chest like an asshole.
And Kong's doing this thing, right? Yeah. So I went to sleep thinking about it, and like I know, like scientists always say that the gorillas bang their chests to intimidate or something like that, right? Sure. That's what the science behind that is, correct?
Sure.
Yes or no?
I'll just say yes. Because I wonder, because this is going somewhere, and I'm not sure if I care.
Well, I was talking to Nick, and I was like, well, what if they're doing that because they're hitting their chest like this? What if they're doing it to get more blood pumped to their heart because they're about to attack? Not because they're trying to intimidate you, but it's an actual thing.
You think just pounding on your chest is like the equivalent of giving yourself CPR?
They're gorillas. I don't fucking know what they think.
I didn't say think. I said, do you think you could actually do that? Like, if you banged on your chest hard enough, do you really think that's getting more blood to your heart? Other than the fact that you're just exerting energy?
I don't fucking know.
Oh God.
It's a thought.
Look, I'm gonna end up being the one that's wrong here. You're gonna end up being right, and I'm gonna be pissed right the fuck off. I'm fucking shaming you for that right now, because there's no way I believe that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, well, she didn't either. She's like, no, scientists said. Let's go back to Mortal Kombat.
No, we can be done. I just gotta say, the fucking
Tivis has some other shit to do.
It's terrible.
The ending, massive CG fight scene. They set it up for the future of all movies. Yeah. And their CG still somehow looked worse than the Power Rangers movie a year before.
It's so bad, and like the uncle gets sent to the fucking Phantom Zone.
It looks worse than a lot of films that came out before it.
Oh, dude, and especially considering the increase in budget, it just blows my mind how bad it is.
That ending that should have just been a straight up fight.
Yeah. The animality stuff is insane.
So
I hate it. It's just for how high octane the movie is. It really does. When you're done talking about it, you're just kind of like, well, the wind's out of my sails, huh?
Like I said, it's not that great. It's not rewatchable like everyone says it is.
How dare you? I think it's absolutely rewatchable.
It's not a comparison
I might rewatch
to
it now.
Secret of the Ooze.
Honestly, John. I might too. I disagree.
You cannot compare that movie to Secret of the Ooze.
I disagree.
At least Secret of the Ooze has Vanilla Ice in it. Ice, ice, baby.
This had Bai Ling in it. Shut up. Yeah, there you go.
Go look at Raiden's face. Pull up his face right now.
With his fucking gap tooth? No, thank you.
I was going to start the movie, but then I'm afraid we're going to get struck because of the soundtrack.
So, all right, Tivis, bring me the new cast list then, since you have that pulled up for the new movie.
Oh, okay.
Let's see who the dipshits are that are going to screw this one up.
So far, we have Louis Tan, I don't know how to pronounce it, as the new character Cole Young. Yeah. Brand new.
So they created an original character for this film.
Yes.
Yep. He's going to be a cage fighter, MMA, I think.
Is he not going to end up being Liu Kang by the end of the movie?
No, there is a Liu Kang.
There is?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
boy.
did it. You fucking watched the trailer, you dipshit.
Yeah, that was like so months ago.
Oh my God. It was actually literally like barely 3 weeks ago.
I'm going to butcher so many of these. Ludai Lin?
Okay. I don't believe you. At this point, I don't believe you now. I think you are mispronouncing so poorly.
Ludi? How do you pronounce that?
Ludi?
Yeah. Jessica Oh my God, it's
Wow.
an
Wow.
English name, and I'm still fucking it up. Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade.
All right.
Josh Lawson as Kano.
Which
Sid-
that Kano looked badass, by the way. I actually am into that.
You know what?
I thought the Kano in the first one
Fuck
looked
it.
fine.
You guys read the list.
I'm looking at it on IMDb, not fandom.com. Sorry.
Fandom.
Hiroku Sanada is playing Hanzo Hasashi, aka
and
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Joe Taslim is playing Sub-Zero,
And Baihan.
which is the same character.
Yeah, well.
Louis
No.
Tan is
One's a
Cole
robot.
Young. Who is Louis Tan? It sounds familiar. Who is this guy? What does he look like?
Louis Vuitton.
Oh, yeah. Deadpool 2. And
He
the
was
Wu
also
Assassins.
in Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was in that Wu Assassin show on Netflix. That was pretty cool. Tadanobu Asano,
I'm so glad you're doing this instead of me.
Raiden, Ludi Lin, Liu Kang,
I'm trying to figure out why we're doing this in the first place.
Makehad Brooks. I don't know.
That's Jax.
that's
He had
Jax.
a question, so I had it pulled up.
What was my fucking question? Shinhan.
Who was playing
Shang
Sonya
Tsung,
Blade?
CC Stringer, Melina.
So just to
Daniel
figure out who
Nelson
the hell Sonya
Cabal.
Blade was, we're listing off the entire cast.
Who was
that nobody
Sonya Blade?
gives
Okay,
a
guess
shit.
Jessica
so.
McNamee.
So, allegedly, Johnny Cage will be in this film, but Screen Rant says he won't. So it's going to be,
So at best, probably a cameo.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll just kill him again.
yeah.
At the very beginning.
No, he'll be the protagonist for the second film. They're
He's
going to try and get a sequel.
Nathan
going to be
Jones
doing
hasn't
his
been
own
announced.
stunt in his movie, and then he's going to hurt himself so badly that he dies. And then they're going to do their
Like-
thing to stunt people.
I don't recognize any of these names.
I don't know.
Lame.
All right. Any more words, guys, for Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
No.
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 Okay.
I think I've said my piece.
Okay. Good. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that said, everybody check out Operation Babble on patreon.com/Operation Babble, or find us on Facebook and or Twitter at Operation Babble. You can also email us at operationbabble@outlook.com to either get on the show or tell us we're fucking retards.
Yay.
And
Give us some reviews. Like, I hate shows that are like only 5-star. Give us stuff like actual good
Written reviews?
criticism if you have it. Like stuff that we can
Ooh.
use to improve the show.
Yeah.
And tell a friend.
And tell your mom.
She already knows.
tell your mom's mama.
Oh,
She's looking for it.
All right, Tivis.
I know.
What
God
did
damn
you
it.
think?
I liked it.
Awesome. My quote comes from Johnny Cage, and John already fucking said it in the show, but I'm gonna say it again. Johnny
Man, I love
Cage
Tina Turner.
from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Crack. No.
Oh.
From Mortal Kombat. I'm in a hostile environment. I'm totally unprepared, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of guys who probably want to kick my ass. It's like being back in high school.
Hell yeah. Go watch both these movies. It's a fun time.
Oh, also let us know what you think of Justice League and Falcon.
Oh,
Because those will
God.
both be out when this drops.
Is that what it's called? Justice League?
No,
and
I'm
Falcon?
just shortening it.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, go watch these movies and go
We
have
might
fun.
talk about them. All right.
All right. Later, nerds.
Peace.
You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble, and join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Thanks and have a great day.